Good morning everyone, my name is Japie Muller. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to speak to you about my book, Emergency Plan or Noodplan, how to prepare basically for any kind of disaster. First of all, I just want to clarify something. It's not actually my book. God have placed it on my heart to write this book for you. I've been studying this subject for the past 10 years. Actually started in 2008, all with a dream. And I asked God about it, and it's an unbelievable road that it took me on, where a lot of these things and the interest just crossed my path, and I started to print manuals over all the years about the subject. And about a year ago, when all these things started happening, we went through the Cape Town water crisis, we saw the National fires, we saw the Betty Bay fire. I felt I must do a video series about it, and I started writing a script for the video, and then what happened was that it didn't materialize. And then when I spoke to God and prayed about it, He said, take all your knowledge and put it basically into this manual. And that's actually how it happened. It's actually irony. As I drive sometimes to work, I can just feel how the words flow, because I've asked the Lord, please reveal to me what I must write about. And the words just came into my mind, and I was just recording it on my cell phone. No, that remember this, and then I wrote all these things down. So it built me the framework of this manual. Now the irony of the story is, the Lord laid on my heart to first do it Afrikaans. I thought to myself, but why Afrikaans? It's a very limited audience, actually, if you look at the bigger South Africa, because I felt the Lord laid on my heart that I must actually do this video, this manual for all South Africans. And I didn't get any word wise, and I said, okay, fine, I'll do it in Afrikaans. And I started, and you know what happened was, a lot of the material that I researched over all the years were actually American, number one, and English. You know, it's so easy when you get the subject or a line to just copy and paste it. I had to really work through it and think about it and adapt it for our South African conditions. So this manual was first done in Afrikaans, and funny enough, when I completed the Afrikaans, Lord said, right, now you're ready to translate it in English. So we've got an Afrikaans version and we've got an English version. Now, if you look at the Manual of Emergency Plan, you will see for some people, all the information in the book is only 100 pages, but it's totally overwhelming. It's too much information. The people that have actually prepared for many years will tell you it's actually just covering the basics. The whole idea of Noodplan and Emergency Plan is to actually just push you that little bit over the edge for you to actually start thinking about preparing. And it just helps you to start somewhere. Because a lot of people will ask you, where do I start for something like that? I've done a lot of case studies on the big type of disasters, and I actually spoke to a lot of people as well, and I found them to be extremely complacent when you touch on the subject. You know, some people say, I actually don't want to think about it. It's too scary, it's too overwhelming to think it's going to disturb the way that I'm used to live. Or people say, I just don't have the money to be able to prepare for something like that. And the big thing is, it is so important that you do think about this. Let's take for instance Idai. Let's do Kenneth. Let's talk about the National fires. There is real things that can threaten the life as we know it. And the bottom line is, you need to prepare for it. Now, the reason why you need to prepare is, there's three things when major disasters happen that is always a huge limitation of these huge rescue attempts. Number one is money. Infrastructure. It's impossible to have enough resources available when this type of disaster hits you. Okay, there's a huge demand on food to get you. Number three is, when this happens, also communications are down at that very moment. Lots of it. There, your cell phone towers go out, everything. So electricity is basically going. And basically the infrastructure, roads and access is so bad that people can't get you. So you might land up in a situation, yes, where you actually have to be 3 to 4 days on your own. Another thing is also the rescue teams are limited. You know, those people, I've got the greatest respect for them. They work around the clock trying to save people. There is not enough resources and things and tools and equipment to be able to help people in major disasters like that. So that's why you need to prepare. You have to be able to sustain you for a limited or a period of time where you can absolutely sustain yourself till help arrives. That is the first thing that I need to say. Another thing is, but what if it's longer? What happens really if Eskom goes out? It's not just load shedding anymore, but a real blackout, and they tell you you have to survive for the next 6 months. Have you really thought about it? Have you started preparing for something like that? How would you survive? What I've done right in the beginning of the book, I started, the most important thing always is to start with a plan. You have to have some form of plan in place to be able to, before you can talk about for a disaster. So what I mean by plan is actually like scenario planning. You really have to work through different scenarios. Number one is, for instance, let's say we have electric outage. You haven't done nothing for preparation and something happens. Say for example, I'm in Cape Town, there's something goes wrong with the Coburg reactor and we have electricity outage and the news says get out of town. Number one is you're gonna really have struggled through the traffic. Cape Town is very bad. There's only 2 main routes out basically, but besides that, you now need to actually get stuff urgently, the basic requirements, okay? Because some people that haven't thought about it will say, oh fine, don't worry, they will make a plan, there will be electricity, it's like the load shedding, it will get better. It might not be getting better. And the bottom line is you need to basically get the basics. So what we've done is in the beginning, on the first pages, when we talk about plan, you'll see there's a reactive plan and a proactive plan. Now the reactive plan, now you are in a reactive mode. So you have to work as fast as possible through this plan. Me and my wife actually took one Saturday, we did this exercise and we managed to get all those things. If you read my reactive plan, we managed to do it all in 2.5 hours, which I think was quite good going. I think then most people will still say, okay, fine, we'll wait, we'll see what will happen and stuff like that. By that time, you are 85% more prepared than most people. If you've done the basics of the reactive plan, you are 85% more prepared than a normal man in the street. I don't think you are sufficient already for a long term. For a longer term problem, it will actually take much longer to be able to prepare for something like that, and which I'm covering basically on a proactive plan basically in the rest of the book. Another factor of things that people ask me, at what stage should I leave home? Should I stay? Should I go? Guys, it really depends on a scenario. Okay, look, at home you have food. More than you will get into your car. You got more clothes at home than you'll get in your car. You got a roof over your head. Because there's 3 things that's very vital important for basic human needs for survival is shelter, food, water. To be able to pack all of that up, what you're going to need, it takes a lot of planning. You actually have to pre-pack a lot of the stuff just ready to go. I'm personally more a person of bugging in. I firmly believe, I've studied all different situations when you should bug in and whatnot. Your life must be really in danger. It should be the only reason why you should bug out. Another question people ask me is, you say you're a Christian. Don't you trust God? Why do you need to prepare? I mean, God will provide for you, surely. I can ask you the same question. Why do you plant a harvest if God will provide for you? Why do you study for a test if you know you can trust God and go through? In some circumstances, you need to actually do an effort, and I feel preparation is something like that. You know, I've read Revelation, Ezekiel, and a lot of these books. I've studied it, and God warns us. He warns his people that things are going to happen. So why did he bother warning us if he doesn't say, listen, turn to God, number one, which is the most important thing, which is a problem in this nation. And the second thing is also is to prepare yourself. You know, it's vitally important to at least get through the bad times at least. Yes, God will provide for you, but I feel you also have to bring your side of the situation. I just like to leave you here and say, look, I don't know everything. This subject is so vast and big, and you are asked how much you need to prepare. look, it's totally, at the end, it's totally up to you. But what I'm trying to achieve through my book is, which I'm begging you, is at least do something. I wish I just push you over the issue, actually just prepare. Because I thought about a lot, should I prepare or should I not? And the big thing is, when this happened, I said to myself, I never want to regret ever telling my family I knew and I did nothing about it. So it's totally up to you. I urge you, if you don't want to do it for yourself, at least, please, just do it for your family, do it for some friends. Do it, just prepare, because tough times is definitely coming. There's no ways about it. We're going to go through a dip. I don't want to be a doom's prophet, but you know what? It's logic. You can see it in newspapers everywhere. The writings on the wall. And we need to actually do as much as we can to brace ourselves for the impact of things that's coming. I really pray to God that He will guide you. Look, I'm just a person like you and me. There's nothing special about me, nothing. But this is my job. This is what Lord laid on my heart to convey to you, and really to urge you to prepare for disasters like this as well. Because I firmly believe, even if you refer, not even news, if you refer to Revelation and you look to what the prophets are saying, even in the books of Ezekiel and Revelation, and I believe a lot of things that Francois is saying is true, is that you really have to trust God in situations like that. You have to turn to God. I think that's why prophets and Ezekiel and Revelation is warning us that these things are going to happen. You know, if you really believe about, we are going in the end times. I believe we are in the end times. But it's very important that I think that you do some form of preparation. I think you're going to, yes, you can't prepare for all 7 years, stuff like that. You have to do this. To what extent you have to prepare, I don't know. But I think as a disaster at the moment happening, like Idai and the KwaZulu-Natal and everything, and I believe it's going to get worse, is that we just pray God's protection over you. And really, I really think you have to think not just about preparing, but also about your relationship with God. It's so important, guys, to actually turn to God. I think this is a big thing about the nation as well, is that we have to turn to God, because I really believe God is our only hope and our only refuge. I want you to thank you very much. If you came to this point listening to me, I want to thank you. I really pray for all of you, and that God will be with you, and really, and I pray for the best for you and your family. Thank you very much.